Hey, 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 it's Friday, and I am Shy Rosalyn, the hostess with the mostest. And welcome to the Eclectic Experience. And tonight we're going to do a reaction video. Yay! Yes, this is Get Your Money Right, and we are featuring a video from Jedi.Tax, Rogelio Noriega. Owns and operates Jedi.Tax in Pomona, California. He has been preparing and working on taxes for various people for over 30 years. I think he's about to start his 33rd tax season. And of course, full disclosure, I run Jedi.Tax in New York. For him. I was a client and I became a tax preparer. He pushed and prodded me a little bit, and I finally went ahead and did it. So I am also a registered tax preparer in New York State, and the season is about to start. So I figured this would be a good night to review his video that he posted on October 30th, 2022. So we're going to do that tonight. The video is about an hour long. I probably won't review the entire video because tonight is Lennon Honor's birthday. Lennon Honor is his channel I mentioned back a few weeks ago in the YouTube Street Guide, The Educators. Tonight is his birthday. He's doing a special live, and I don't want to miss too much of it. So that's why I'm starting early tonight, y'all. So please like, subscribe, tell a friend or two or three. Share. If you have any questions, you can contact either myself or Roger through Jedi.Tax's website. I also have Jedi.Tax NYC is also on Facebook and Instagram. So you can find me there if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to help. So before I start the video, just as a disclaimer, this video is general information. It is not tax advice. If you need specific advice on a specific tax situation, you either consult your local tax professional or your accountant, or you can reach out and become one of our clients, and we can help you with your specific situation. So please keep that in mind. I'm going to bring up the video right now. Bear with me a sec. I will start. Come on, where are you? There we go. And if there's an issue with the audio, let me know. I think we're good. But let's get started.
smart enough to tell me that I'm muted. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Of course, my name is Roger Noriega. You may refer to me as Roger if you like. And this Jedi.Tax online. Really excited. Haven't done one for a little while, and there is still time. The tax year has not ended yet, and we're going to be going over some of those items, and it's going to be good. Our website, should you choose to contact us, is Jedi.Tax. It's down at the bottom. Some people call it the crawler, the ticker, the Chiron, whatever. It is what it is. But thank you for being with me this evening. Today is October 30th, 2022. There still is time. We're going to be talking about some stuff tonight. I don't know where I'm going to put myself. Yeah, there it is. I might have myself right there. So, I did not put.
Roger is hysterical. Okay, he funny, and also he on NDB Media, Sports Talk with the Guys is on Saturday mornings, 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern. It's a lot of fun. So check that out as well. Roger runs that show also. So just a plug for Saturday morning. If you're into sports, definitely check them out. And I will mention them in the description.
Put the other overlay, the correct one. There it is, that overlay. I don't know why, but hey, it is purple. And our imperative here is to provide you with information. It means that you need to follow up and look up and continue with it. So there may be some things that have changed even from the time that this episode is posted. So I hope you stay with us, and we're going to get to it. So, of course, who am I? I have 35 years of tax preparation and financial planning experience. I am registered with California CTEC. I'm a California Tax Education Council registered tax preparer. Also with the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, I am a registered tax return preparer. And I am also a CAA, which is a certified acceptance agent. So I'm adding another one as well, but I'm not there yet. But I know you can't see the image, but Jedi.Tax is a multi-state small business helping real people. We have preparers in New York. We have preparers in Texas, Arizona, and California. And we have clients in almost every state. We're getting close, but there are a few up in the Northeast I have not been able to penetrate. I did have a client in Massachusetts, but they moved to Arizona. So it is what it is. But thank you for joining us. And let me go ahead and continue. That is the website, of course, Jedi.Tax. And so some real simple things. For most of us, the tax year that we're currently in ends at midnight on December 31st, 2022. And something that I need to make clear is that tax preparers live in the past. When we refer to this year, we're talking about, in the case of October 30th, 2022, we're talking about 2021. When we say this year, we mean 2021. We mean the prior year, it's 2020. And that's the way it is. We've always done that.
Yeah, that's something to keep in mind, especially if you haven't filed a return. Um, just like Roger said, the tax year is the previous calendar year. So, like he said, 2022, getting everything together is actually your 2021 return, because that's what was filed in back in April. If you actually met your deadline, you're talking about your 2021 income. So for us as tax preparers, January 1st is actually, now we're looking at people's income for 2022. So it's always the calendar year, the previous calendar year is what we're referring to.
When we say next year, we're actually talking about the current year that we're in, which is kind of fun. But this is a quick reminder that the year ends on December 31st. So there are changes that you guys can still make. There are things that you can do. If you owed money this year on your taxes, there's still a time. Withholding, contact Jedi.Tax if you need assistance. But update your W-2. And in the case of California, it's a DE4. Contact us. We will have those items, those forms on our website. Ooh, didn't think about doing that until right now. So we're going to put payroll forms. This is an internal note on Jedi.Tax. Hey, that's good. And we have several people watching us. So if you don't mind, sharing who you are and where you hail from. Oh, Northwest Media. Thank you for joining us from the Lewis and Clark Bridge, Columbia River on the Washington. Hernandez, folks. He is in, if I may, he is in the Montebello area, East Los Angeles. He's been at it for a long time as well. This is another tax preparer. He's in the Los Angeles area. If he could give me his website in the chat room, I'll post it. He knows what's going on. Known him for a little bit of time. So obviously I'm all over the place right now, but we still have time to make corrections. So W-2s, contact your preparer, your financial planner. If your withholding is low, you guys, it's better to make the changes now. And even if you're still going to owe, make the changes now and it will hurt less. It's just the way it is. It's a little better. Yes, Mr. Hernandez. See, all of a sudden now it's Mr. Hernandez, FDIRS. That's funny. Yeah. So it's real good. George, I really appreciate you joining us. And if Mr. Silva is with you, please let him know I say hi.
Now, funny, everybody says F the IRS, but honestly, the IRS is one of those government agencies where there's so much information available to the public. Um, they're actually one of the slightly more transparent government agencies out there. There's so much information. Basically, if you're not sure how to file something or where something should go in your return, you can go straight to the IRS website and just look it up, and it tells you. So I, I found that interesting that he said F the IRS. I mean, yeah, the IRS will do their best to take as much money as possible from you. And of course, not everyone is guaranteed a refund. Some people are going to owe no matter what, but still, it's one of the better government agencies if you need to do research.
I miss you guys right now. So, of course, we have a few upcoming changes for the 2023 year, which is next year, as I was talking about. Child tax credit, one of the most important ones, reverts to the pre-2021 rules, meaning there will be no monthly payments, as there have been for a little while. And thank you, Mr. Hernandez, for the like. We also have new higher limits on retirements and IRAs. There's a lot of legalese stuff, but basically it's the 401k contribution limit rises to 22,500, and the contributions can be based on up to $330,000 in salary. So it went up. Need to check it out. There is some real complicated stuff, but the basic important thing is you are able to put more money aside. And if I remember correctly, if you earn less than $50,000, savers, you get a savers credit, a retirement contribution credit, folks. It's really, really awesome. You should take advantage of that. Contact your local preparer and they'll be able to help you out on some of that stuff. The holidays are here. Oh, let me go back. I'm so sorry. One of the important things I did want to mention is the extension on the electrical vehicles. If you're thinking of buying an electric vehicle in 2023, take note of the changes. And we're going to do them real quick. To be eligible for the full $7,500 credit, the EVs put in use after 2022 must meet a critical minerals requirement and a battery component rule. If only one factor is met, then the credit is capped at $3,750.
Now, I found this interesting because there are some auto companies that are going to be converting most of their models to electric. I'm still trying to figure out how the hell, if I ever had an electric car, where the hell would I plug it in at? um, so yeah, but it's interesting to note about electric vehicles. That's definitely something you want to look into, um, and see if it works for you.
Under the critical mineral rule, a percentage of the batteries and minerals must be extracted or processed in the U.S. or in the country with a free trade pact with the U.S. The battery component, I like to consider myself a smart debtor, if there is such a thing. What I mean by that is I use my American Express card to pay for everything, and then I pay it off almost as soon as the transaction is processed. That way, I earn more points. I earn between 1, 2, and 3% on whatever I'm buying. So I try to use that smartly. I don't always do it, but I try to do that. Anticipate your expenses. Look ahead. Think of what you're going to be spending on. Communicate with your spouse or partner if it comes to the holiday spending. You want to keep it in line. No surprises. Don't surprise them, shock them, or put them in a bad spot. Enlist the support of family and friends. If you're going to spend and you know you're going to have an issue, instead of buying them a gift, buy them a service. Spend American. For
I also have to add, not only spend American, spend black. Recycle them black dollars. Um, if you're going to use a service, try and find a reputable black owned business, such as mine. And there are a bunch of others out there. There's a um, organization called Black Connections LLC. They are here on YouTube, and they also have a website. There, they have a Black business directory with quite a few black owned businesses, and it's not just, skincare and jewelry. They're actually services as well. I know there's at least one or two accountants. There's myself. I think I'm listed, but like I said, you can find me on Facebook. um and yeah, definitely, if you can support a black owned business, that'd be cool. But like Roger said, try and keep it American. Um, have, family and friends, and definitely communicate. Communication is the key, especially when you're dealing with a budget.
forgive me, folks, but that's what I mean. Buy home, get a gift certificate, get something that can be used. Maybe you want to avoid the material. Has nothing to do with religious beliefs. It's just if you're going to spend the money, giving a gift that they can use is just as important as something material. Set realistic goals. You can't buy gifts for everyone. You probably don't want to buy gifts for everyone. And where are you going to spend on the family? Be smart, be judicious, and visualize rewards. What are you going to get out of it? Yeah, seriously, be smart with your money. And if you're going to give someone a gift, what are you going to get out of it? You can take that however you want, but visualize your rewards. I hate the word budgeting, but for lack of a better word, we're going to be talking about budgeting basics. And this is where we're going to spend most of our time right now. If these words come to mind when you think of budgeting, frustration, deprivation, fear, helplessness, restriction, that means something is going on. I should have put nervous. I should have put antsy, some other things. Folks, we are overwhelmed in the economy due to everything that's going around us. But if we do a little bit of planning, we can beat this and we can move forward. What is a budget? It's up.
Okay, so this is more of the meat of what I wanted to show tonight. Um, Budgeting, like Roger said, budgeting. You hear the word budget, people freak out. They think it's deprivation. They get nervous. People get nervous because they realize, oh crap, I need to face what I've been doing, and it's scary. I keep kind of a running budget in my head, which I really shouldn't do. But I also check my bank account every every week, and the banking apps usually have a service like a little like AI assistant, and they'll say, "Hey, you spent X amount of dollars this month," or "Hey, it looks like you have more expenses this month than last month." That just doing that alone can be very helpful. So let us continue.
Plan. As I tell everyone, control your destiny. It's it's a plan for your money and for your life. Stop living paycheck to paycheck. I know it's difficult. Yes, I'm not dumb. I've been there, folks. I've lived paycheck to paycheck. I have. And the reason why I do these programs is because I was able to get out of it. I got out of it through smart work, not hard work. Washing machine works hard. Smart work. I took a second job, third job, whatever, and I did what I had to get out of it. Oftentimes, working hard just doesn't do it. So you have to think about what is keeping you in debt. One of the obvious things is you want to pay off debt and spend less money. Yeah, okay, that's easy enough, but how do you do it? You want to save and invest. You want to have money for a big car purchase, a big purchase such as a car or a house. But as I've been telling you guys for a while now, oh, George, thank you. George Gwynn. 2 out of 3 Americans live paycheck to paycheck. How much should you have in the bank? Oh, George, thank you, George. Let me add to your comment right now, and I'm going to keep that one up there. And this is a sad statistic. 75% of American households right now do not have $400. So 400. $400 for an emergency, such as repair, medical bill, whatever. It's bad. How much should you have in the bank? George, there's a lot of people that are going to tell you you need 6 months worth of savings. George, that's a benchmark, which I'm just going to parrot. But to answer your question, in the bank, I'm going to challenge you, George, that you probably shouldn't even have money in a bank. If anything, you need to have cash for a month's worth of expenses. The rest of it, you should have somewhere else, anywhere else, George. Because if you look at what banks are paying in interest,
I disagree with this just a little bit. Um, yeah, it's good to have cash on hand, especially if you have like an emergency repair, like you need you need a plumber, or um something's broken, or you have to get a new appliance right away. But with all these ways to pay, like and Venmo and Zelle, um you don't always have to have too much cash in the house, and I don't recommend keeping a lot of cash in your house for obvious reasons. But I would stick with, if for me personally, I would stick with having at least three to 6 months of living expenses, either in a bank where you can get it quickly, in your checking account. You can use your debit card to pay for stuff. Um, and definitely try not to touch, if you have money in your retirement account, try not to touch it, especially if you are not 59 and a half yet. But let's see what else Roger has to say.
you can put it in an online bank. Discover Bank, folks, has an account that pays higher than your regular bank. Many credit unions pay more than a regular bank. I can tell you that I have, I wish I would have looked it up right now. If you're going to keep money in there, you keep one month's worth of cash. And then the rest of it you have invested. And if you don't have the time to have it invested, meaning you can't follow it or whatever, use a mutual fund at the minimum. They're very sharp. They're really good. I've talked about I use Franklin Templeton. I'm invested in a utilities fund, California tax-free fund, and a real estate fund. So you shouldn't keep that much money in a bank. You should have it earning money for you. Perfect world. If you're going to do it in a bank, put in a CD, which will pay you more. But credit unions will pay you more, and invest in the stock market will pay you more. So those are my genuine recommendations, George. I don't know if that answers your question, but I don't want to say it's one of the biggest ripoffs, but it's one of the biggest ripoffs, leaving money in a bank right now. So, but it's a good place to start. And I thank you, George, for the like. You want to establish goals, folks. Vacation without the credit card, which is funny because I just said I use my American Express. But what I mean is that you can vacation and you're able to pay it right away. Use your credit card for security. You don't carry cash. You don't get robbed. Additional goals in budgeting, plan for retirement or to retire confidently. Folks, the most important thing you can do is to start looking at what you want to do and then getting there. It's nice to talk to your neighbors and your coworkers to see what they're doing, but don't rely on them. Go to someone who you trust that you know is doing well, or maybe not doing well. They've done it. Go to them. Talk to your bank. Funny, I just said avoid them, but talk to the financial people there. Like dividends, capital gains, something you want to consider. That's if you actually take it out and put it in your pocket. It would be a good investment or what to do with your money. So, as I said, control your destiny. You want to do that. But to learn the steps in budgeting or to, control it, you want to know how much you have in income. You need to determine your expenses. Then you create a plan. I don't like to say budget because people don't like that. Then you need to monitor it. Once you create the plan, you got to stay on it. And then if it works, you repeat it. What type of income am I talking about? The money that you're expecting. If you're self-employed, project forward. What are you expecting to earn? If you have a job, how much are you going to get paid? Your take-home pay, other income. Do you have a side job, a side hustle, something like that? Excuse me. Do you receive investment monies like dividends, capital gains, something you want to consider? That's if you actually take it out and put it in your pocket. Are you receiving alimony, child support? Do you receive rent from a roommate? As I mentioned, a side hustle. Are there benefits that you receive, SNAP or TANF? And then are you going to get a bonus, possibly, or a refund for tax purposes? There are lots of things. You want to look at your expenses. You want to identify them. And how do you do that? You look at your bank statements, your credit card statements, and your receipts.
That's exactly what I just mentioned. Bank statements are usually the first place you go to, especially if you use your debit card a lot. Credit card statements would be the second place you go to, depending on excuse me, depending on how many credit cards you have, and then cash receipts, especially for repairs and stuff like that. Anything that you've paid cash for, try and hold on to the receipts for at least 6 months to a year, and that will definitely help you get things on track.
If you use cash, write it down. I use Quicken, folks. It's an old program. It works. It used to be called a killer app, but it makes life easy for you because you can use your phone. And I'm going to switch over to that real quick. I have my app here on my phone, and I click on it, the Quicken app, which you'll see right there. And what I do is I open up the app and I'm immediately able to input a transaction. And for those of us who are older, we know we've had credit bank statements. So Quicken is similar to bank statements, or I shouldn't say bank statements, a check register. Date, who, how much, where does it come out of, and what is it? That's it. And if you have a receipt, you can attach it to your statement or to your transaction, and you've got it. You can throw the receipt away or keep it in balance later. But that's an important thing, and that's how you start.
I'm going to go forward just a little bit because I want to encourage everyone to actually watch the whole video. I'm trying to hit some of the highlights tonight, and you guys can um, watch the entire video um, on your own. Okay, we'll do this.
So I can see it when I'm planning. But I know I use Quicken as well, so I overdo it. Choose your tool. How detailed do you wish to have it? You need to set that up. And then you need to keep track of your essential expenses first and foremost, which are housing, transportation, food, and clothing. Then you need to think of your discretionary expenses, which is your needs and your wants. What are some of your needs? Some of your needs are, believe it or not, or just to give you an idea, gasoline. It's a need, it's not a want. A want is Netflix, a theater expense, whatever. Those are wants. Needs are stuff that you need, but they're discretionary, such as maybe you have two phones for whatever reason, or you have an iPad with internet access. That could be a want as opposed to a need. When you think, I put this in there because you want to get people on a plan, and having them automate their payments puts them on like, hey, the money's going to be going out that day, so you have to have it in there. I don't. I control my destiny. But you want to automate your payments. And then you want to determine, once you've done this, whether you have more money at the end of the month, if you have any money left. Once you've established how you're doing it, you need to track your actual spending. Track as much detail as possible. I start when I try to work with my clients, and I've done a lot of financial planning with my clients. And folks, this is what I do. I have emergency planning. I've had clients show up that they don't have money and they have to get through the week or whatever. I've done that. Get a piece of paper. I list the days, Sunday through Saturday. Say, okay, what has to be paid and when? And I do that. And then we do it for 2 weeks. I found, when are you guys going to get paid? And when does this have to go out? That's emergency planning. I've done that with clients. I've done it on paper so they can see it and they can follow it. Those suck, but we've done it.
I actually had a client. She needed help with her business expenses, and she didn't have any software like to generate a profit and loss statement or anything like that. And I had to pull out the old Excel spreadsheet and go through her bank statements month by month and tally it up on the Excel spreadsheet. Um, I haven't done that in years. It was interesting, but we were able to tally up her expenses and get her return filed. And of course, I have now, put her on a bookkeeping software so we can actually generate profit and loss statements and all that good stuff.
Done it. After that, it gets a little more complex. You can do it on paper, draw it out, sketch it out by the month, however, but you want to put the detail. And you have to make decisions about what you can afford and what you can't. And then, but when they start to see and you share with them, they start to think it through. They're like, okay, all right, I see how much we can spend. And but when they start to see and you share with them, they start to think it through. They're like, okay, all right, I see how much we can spend. And they actually equate, man, spending $30 and we earn 100 on the week. I get it. And when they see how much you have to pay for the electricity and everything else, they begin to understand. But that's the number one. Bring them in on it. And when it comes to expenses, the expenses are shared equally. It's the best way to do it. You want to pay down your debt because you're paying someone else's wage when you carry debt. At times, we're all going to carry debt, but you can start to contact the bank, the credit union, whatever, and tell them, hey, look, the interest is killing me. Can we work something? I'm not, it's not that I don't want to pay or that I can't. Can you reduce the interest rate? Sometimes they'll switch you to another credit card. That's not bad. Sometimes they won't, but you need to ask. You want to shop smarter. Go for the sales. Buy in bulk when it's appropriate. This is directed at the men such as myself. Learn to cook. Use credit versus debit. I've talked about the pitfalls of having a pure debit card. You can have a debit card. George, I have my main account, which I have with a huge bank where I receive payment. I then transfer that to another account where I make my payments. So if they get that information, okay, it won't hurt as much. So that's identity theft, and I try to work on that stuff. But you want to think about where you're spending the money first. And once you see it, most people think of a caramel macchiato at Starbucks, $4 or $5. Yeah, that's nothing. Actually, it is a lot. $10, $15, $20, $25 a week on a caramel macchiato. I love a venti caramel macchiato myself. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. 2 weeks, $50. Once you start to see the numbers, George, it is not a problem that she is spending. It's because she doesn't pay attention to the amounts. You need to work on looking at what the amounts as they add up. It's not an argumentative thing. It's bring them in on it. But before you start doing some of that, you start coming up with a plan on where the money goes first. And then you set money aside for her and you set money aside for yourself. That's where the pay first comes in. So, but George, and okay, you can make it at home and then you go out. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't. I think it's perfect. You elucidate them. Bring them in on it. Help them to understand where the money is going. So you let me tell you, when I'm doing taxes and I'm somewhere this here. So that's another thing that you can use. That's quick and light. I don't use it because I use Quicken. Here's a suggested spending plan. Now, it depends where you live, and I'm assuming, George, that you live in the United States of America. So, these are just suggested. If you pay more, if you're in the Northeast, I understand heating costs are much more than over here in mine. I pay more in electrical costs because of AC. I'm a creature person, people. When it's hot, AC's on. When it's cold, I'm cold. I want the heater. I'm a simple old guy. But if you want an idea,
and it's Friday, and you are listening or watching the Shy Rosalind, your hostess with the mostest, the eclectic experience. And tonight we're talking about budgets and all that good stuff. We're doing a reaction to Jedi.Tax video on budgeting. It was they posted it on October 30th. Please go and watch the video in its entirety. It's very helpful. Tax season is coming up. People are going to start receiving W-2s and 1099s in about a month or so. So this is a good way to get yourself together and get your money right. I'm going through certain parts of the video that um, were highlights, so I do encourage people to go and check out the video in its entirety. And of course, please like, subscribe, share the video with a friend or two or three. And this video is not tax advice, it is general information only. Please consult with an accountant, a tax preparation specialist, um, or if you would like to become a client of Jedi.Tax, you can reach out to me through Facebook, Jedi.Tax NYC, and once you are a client, we can assist you in more detail.
How much you want to have? You should spend no more than 25% on housing, 15% on. Oh, yeah. See, okay, dude. Yeah. Huh. I get that. It's like everything I just said. This gives you an idea of what you could work with, though. 25% housing, 15% transportation, 12% groceries and dining out, 10% savings. There's the number. This is suggested. It's not what I suggest. But if you can hit 10% savings, George, we could talk about what you can invest in. And folks, to everyone else, I don't shill for any particular company because I don't, but I do have investments with Franklin Templeton. I have 4 mutual funds with them. I've had with Invesco, I've had with Janus, I just opened up one with Schwab. I'm also invested Capital One. They had a business account. They don't anymore. I mean, an investment account. I don't have it with everything is closed. And there may be a few others out there. But I'll talk to you about those different ones. And I've talked about, I think I've done mutual funds before about load and no load. I think I've done those episodes. I swear I have. But I'll share with you guys. And folks, if you want to talk about how to plan, folks, I don't charge for that. I want to help people to do better. One of my buddies was on here, George Hernandez, that said FDIRS. Folks, I share what little I know on taxes with everyone out there because it's us. It's us against the government when it comes to taxes. And if we're smarter, it's better for us. And that's why I share everything that I can. But that's becoming a lecture now. 10% utilities, but yeah, gas kills it. 5% charity, 5% medical, 5% holidays and gifts, clothing, and miscellaneous stuff. That gives you an idea on the suggested pie. Your housing could be more. My housing right now, just on my regular job, if I think about it, I'm in Southern California. I'm going to share something. I'm paying $2,000 a month right now. I am hoping to purchase a home early next 6 weeks. I could do it that way. Plan ahead. Automate your payments. 6 weeks. I could do it that way. Plan ahead. Automate your payments. Automate your savings so it comes out automatically. Don't buy something you can't afford. Don't buy it on credit unless you're going to pay it right away to earn the points. Be smart. Delay your purchases. But do it weekly. Split your money out weekly so you can keep track of it. And be accountable. Look at what you said you were going to do and look at what you actually did. Be accountable to it for yourself. You can have a visualization board. Okay, this is what I wanted to spend. This is what I actually spent. Ugh, and it's there. Get a dry erase board if you want, or you keep it on your. If you spend time with friends and family, okay, bring them in on it.
Okay, I don't know what happened. He just went mute. So I'm going to skip ahead to the final part that I wanted to cover for tonight. Um, And like I said, I encourage you to find this video. It's on Facebook, it's here on YouTube, on Jedi.Tax, and watch the video in its entirety. That's the best way to do it. And I'm going to, this is going to be the final part that I'm going to review for tonight.
You earned and of the expenses that you have, you're going to see the money that's left over that is unaccounted for. And once you see that number, you're like, oh man, okay. Then you want to find out what it is. It'll work. You have to give it time. You will see progress. Oh, wow. Okay. That's the Selena rule. So that, yeah, I guess this program, I was right there about an hour because that's pretty much it on it, folks. I did talk about those tax changes that I wanted to and about budgeting. I had about an hour of stuff to do. And I want to let you know that I will be doing a program next month again. It may be a bit sooner because we have quite a bit of holidays. I'm traveling.
So yeah, this was pretty much the end of his video anyway. So to have a successful budget, first of all, take your time. Don't rush. If you are married or you have a partner or however, sit down and communicate and agree on what you want to budget on. Go through your expenses, figure out what you can truly do without, and what's considered necessities. If you're not married, if you're doing this on your own, try and find someone that can help hold you accountable, maybe a bookkeeper, or, get yourself some software that can help you track your spending. If you have children, get your kids involved. Collect pennies, put the pennies in the penny jar, and then you can, take it and turn it in and let them see how much they saved on their own. Um, don't be afraid to choose something that works for you. Quicken and QuickBooks and Wave, they might not be. They're not for everybody. Some of them are more for professionals than not. But you can just pull up an Excel spreadsheet and just do it the old-fashioned way. Type in your expenses and then type in your income and subtract one from the other, and you know whether you're ahead or not. Um, and then if you need to make changes, it's okay. It's okay to make changes. Maybe you've paid off one credit card, so you're done with that. You're moving on to the next one. You can make those adjustments. It's perfectly fine. And last but not least, as Roger said, eventually you will start to see progress, especially if you're putting money, say you're putting money in a jar, and all of a sudden the jar is full and you can take that money and use it. Maybe you're going to use it for a little splurge because you saved it, you have the cash to pay for it. So those are the important things. Don't be afraid to budget. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to do a little research. Like I said, the IRS has a ton of information for both consumers and business owners and tax professionals. That's my go to. I've mentioned this before in a previous video. And even your local or state, if you have a state tax website, they can help you as well. Lots and lots of free information for consumers and tax professionals. So, with that, I'm going to stop sharing the screen because the video is pretty much done. I just want to say thank you for watching tonight. I'm going to go over to Lennon Honor's birthday party. Tomorrow night, God willing, is Beat and Chat. I might do it a little earlier, depends. But right now, yes, it's scheduled for the usual 9:30, but I may do it earlier. So I'm hoping everyone can join me. And again, to please like, subscribe, and like, subscribe, share it. Comments are always welcome. Likes are free. Sharing is free. You can reach me on Instagram, Jedi.Tax NYC. You can reach me also the same on Facebook. And you can visit our website, Jedi.Tax, for more information about our services. So I hope everybody has a great Friday night. Um, and I am your hostess with the mostest, Shy Roslyn, and this has been the Eclectic Experience. I will be doing another YouTube street guide that will probably come up after the holiday, and also Saturday after Thanksgiving, I will be on Instagram Live with Miss Cece's Creations. She's doing a virtual pop-up shop, starting um, it's 1 o'clock Central, which I believe is 2 o'clock Eastern. So look out for me there. I'll be talking about my stuff, and I hope you can join us then. And that's it for now, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see. Hopefully, you'll catch this on the replay. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you all tomorrow night.